Back to work with the Enfield. Holiday's over, time to get on with it. Here I'm fitting the clutch cable. The clutch cable, the throttle cable are really necessary to get the thing going. Helps you get the kickstart in the right place, and obviously the throttle to get the thing to spring into life. Bit fiddly, but with long nose pliers and a bit of adjustment, it's not too difficult to get everything into place. I've known worse. I also had to fit a clutch lever. The bike came in pieces, and it's only now you begin to realise what bits are missing. After that, it's a bit of work on the rear brake light switch, which is inside the toolbox, toolbox, which is a bit surprising, but a nice little touch. It's all these little bits that you have to check over and get right that take up the time that people don't realise. They think these things just jump onto the bike when they're ready to go. Here I had to fiddle with the new lever just to get it all fitting. But in the end it worked. Also had to do a bit of work on the decompressor. The handlebar lever end was a mismatch of bits and pieces that I had to make fit and work. And as I say, you just have to keep walking backwards and forwards, working through the bike until all these bits are done. Especially when the bike comes to you in boxes. You can open a box and think, oh gee, loads of stuff in there. But when you get down to it, all it takes is a little spring to be missing, or a little screw with a special thread on it. And you have to wait for these bits to come through the post. And in Ireland that can be a week or more. So you just keep going. Again, this is the last of the wiring. The earth strap on the bike was pretty ratty, so I made up a new one, and here you can see me soldering the eyes on. Obviously one to the battery, one to the frame, and there was also a bad connection where it went into the wiring loom, so a bit of modification there as well. And finally, topping the thing up with oils. Little drop in the primary chain case and engine oil. In this case 1040, a budget can of oil, shall we say, because it'll only be in there for a short while before it's drained, and it's just to flush the engine out once she's running. And then of course the good oil will go in when all the crap has been flushed from inside the rebuilt engine. I don't care how careful you are with rebuilding an engine, there's always a bit of debris left inside. So I always like to run the engine on a cheap oil get it nice and hot and splashing around inside, giving everything a good wash down, and then simply drain it out and replace it with a good quality oil. I can change the oil filter at the same time. It's not a big job on this bike. So one final job, take the plug out and just crank her over until a bit of oil gets pumped around the pump, hopefully into the big end bit. Again, just to ease up the pressure on the poor thing when it starts up. And as if by magic, a good friend of mine turned up to give me a hand starting it. I'm afraid my days of kicking over a 500 single that's just been rebuilt are long gone. So we went through the starting procedure and we gave it a go. Primed it, turned it over a few times with the compression lifted. As you can see, the kickstart spring isn't working, so that's a job I've got to do. Bring it just over compression. Without that spring it can be very annoying. As painful as that was, it's a good sign. It was at this point here that the battery decided to die, or I forgot to turn the camera on, one or the other, but anyway, we actually got a few pumps out of it, just a dum if you like, which means that it will start, but at this point here, this happened. Rubber's completely gone now. The kickstart pull started letting go. We got a few kicks out of it, but it just got worse and worse. So I'm afraid the kickstart system is going to have to be taken out and a new pull and spring fitted before we have any hope of starting it. Still, we tried. My friend who rode the 350 Enfield trials came in and had a go, but by now the kickstart wasn't even gripping anymore. So called it a day. So it looks like there'll be a part 3 to this after all. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. When the parts come in from Hitchcock's, I'll get at it.